searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome to another week in Geek. I have to admit, if there was ever a time I really wanted to take a day off from the show, it was probably today. Stuff that's been going on this week has kind of like really gotten me down. And it's all, behind the scenes. It's nobody, up front or anything. It's just stuff that's going on behind the scenes with other people. It's just, sapping my enthusiasm, my will to want to do anything. But here I am. It's another week. And here we are on the show. And hopefully we'll give you at least an hour or two of enjoyment and laughter and maybe some information. And I can't necessarily say it's going to be horribly positive this week, but I'm going to do what I can. Interesting things to note. When we got monetized, as it were, we're not actually ad revenue monetized. We just have the tipping panel set up and super chats and memberships, which I haven't sprung the memberships yet, just because it's kind of like I don't know what to offer at every level that would be worth it. I'm not sure what you guys would like to see or do. It's like, are you guys really, do you like me that much that you would enjoy having a member stream every month? Because that is a membership offering I can probably do. I didn't think I was so cool that you guys would want to pile into a crowded little stream and just, BS for a little while. I don't really do the movie stuff. So I wouldn't be doing like stream movies or anything. But maybe I can think of something that we could all do. I mean, if you want a piece of artwork or something like that, a piece of CG art, I can definitely give every member one of those. I might even be able to customize it to some degree, depending on your tastes and desires. I don't know. But I can't give away free miniatures or anything like that because all the stuff I'm painting is for my own games, and miniatures ain't cheap anyway. And it would feel too much like a business. And I already got out of that business, miniature painting for other people. It's just not worth the hassle. But if you guys have suggestions and things that you would like to see, hit me up on Twitter during the week. Let me know what you'd like. Or, shoot me an email because it's available through my YouTube channel or my postings and things, Give me some ideas what you want to do, because I want you guys if I offer memberships, I want to be able to offer you something that is worthy of your money to pay me every month for it. And speaking of pay, yeah, YouTube did not pay me for this month, so I don't know what the deal is with that. I thought for sure we had hit enough money to get paid this month, but that did not happen. It just says something about payment status pending. So I don't know if I need to contact YouTube and say, hey, what else do I got to do to free this up, or what? Or maybe it's behind, or maybe it didn't get enough money. I don't know what the deal is. It's kind of my first time doing it, so perhaps somebody with more knowledge of this will inform me. I'm sure they will. But anyway, why don't we get on with the show? Here are our guests for today. Iron-on t-shirt prints. That might be kind of cool. You know, I've been thinking about offering t-shirts because I'm the t-shirted historian. But, you know, I don't know. I was kind of like, eh. It feels like everybody does that. You know, they start the merch line and they're like, you know, cups and t-shirts and all this stuff. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Everybody does that. But I don't know if you guys think it's worth it. Perhaps a copy of a custom campaign I've played on the show? If I wrote things down, that would work. Hey, Grim. Hey, Greg.
Hello.
A discount on RPG books. I don't even get a discount on RPG books. I guess I could probably give away copies of the book I worked on with Grim. Although I guess I'd have to buy them so that Grim could get paid.
Somewhere out there is a 30-pound box of my books lost in limbo. Sent to T-shirted historian.
There you go. There you go. For every membership, I will send you a copy of Iries.
One day it'll show up.
I could give you a discount code on my store to give people.
Yeah, there's that. Game stream, huh? You guys really want to watch me play games? I mean, that would be fun, I guess. I haven't done a game stream in a long, long, long time because I loathe the program that we have to use to run those game streams. I really do. I hate it so much. I tried to run games through StreamYard. It did not work. But, yeah. So horribly positive is better than positively horribly. Yeah, it is. Gen X Geek. Thank you, man. Okay, it gives us a way to support you, not get stuff from you. Okay. We've got a caster. Hey! Oh, check out your bandana. You look cool, man.
Thank you.
Who are you repping?
Joanne Fabrics.
They're a vicious gang. I've heard about them. They have that whole sewing monopoly all tied up.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna poke you.
Patty's Parlor. Hello, Disciple of Logris. The stream is one of the highlights of your week. I'm so glad. Thank you, man. Yeah, I love your enthusiasm, dude. Disciple is a really cool dude. Every single week, he retweets my stream. He talks about it, and I'm so grateful. That is one thing I can say about my audience is like, yeah, you know, we're moving into our 4th year, I guess, of doing this, and I never got monetized. I mean, like fully monetized, ad revenue, 1,000 subs and all that. But the people I do have who've been hanging with us have been good folks, and they've been, you know, a nice solid core audience, and I am grateful. I really, really am. Crossface!
We'll get there.
Yeah. Crossface, have a good stream, my guy. Hey, take care, Crossface, and I might see you this week.
Oh.
Victor. Good to see you, man. You know, drink some water, Victor.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay
The
hydrated.
problem with the hangover is you quit drinking.
Yep. Silverlock. Hey, it's good to see you, bud.
You know what's really important, too, if you drink a lot? You gotta take a magnesium.
I've heard that.
Yeah, if alcohol can deplete you of that, and you have all kinds of... You'll feel like crap, But if you take one, you'll feel a million times better. I'm telling you.
Also, drink Monster Rehab because it's specifically designed to counter hangovers. Not only does it have the B vitamins to help you out, but it also has hydration stuff in it. So you drink a whole thing of Monster Rehab and then you drink water, and you will feel a whole lot better. It also has milk thistle in it, which is slightly, it's good for pain and stuff like that. So inflammation.
That'll make you have that scream and squirts.
Violence solves everything, dude. I'm glad you're on tonight. I've got something special to do with Violence solves everything tonight. Hopefully we'll get him on. I did shoot out a link to OGGM. I guess maybe he got busy today, or I don't know. Ace, good to see you, buddy. Just an old guy. Snorty Poopus, yes. Cyborg Valkyrie. You want to take a look at your back end? You need to make sure you're good for for payments. Okay, yeah. I should be good to go, but okay. Well, we'll see about launching memberships and see what we can do. Just a passerby. Vodka means water. Yes, it does. Mercurius. Good to see you, man.
My guess is 5 to 7 business days type of thing, but I could be wrong.
Well, according to what the document I read, it's supposed to be like they're supposed to pay you around the 21st, and that didn't happen. And still no payment. So, Hey, Keely Chow, good to see you, buddy.
Drive-Thru RPG had a problem this past week where they weren't paying out like they should. They had to shut down the whole service and do maintenance on it.
Ooh, that's not good.
It seems like it's going all across the board, where it's one after another. Like I heard Patreon has similar problems as well.
Yeah, it's because society is collapsing.
Their ESG scores aren't high enough anymore.
So Skynet is taking over.
Well, the ESG scores aren't high enough, so the bankers aren't wanting to pay out, and so all these companies are losing their shirts.
Well,
they're trying to
be home.
Yes. Speaking of which, I have a video.
Uh-oh.
And I normally don't get political, but I saw this and I laughed so hard I had to share it with you guys.
Is this the guy dancing on the car?
You will eat the bugs. Yum, yum. Adrenochrome so good. Population control. Jawohl, jawohl, jawohl. Thank you for your sacrifice. I despise you. Adrenochrome so good. Nouvelle order. Population control. Yum, yum. You will eat the bugs. We need a great reset. Jawohl, jawohl, jawohl. You will own nothing and be happy.
That was a little over the top.
It's not political. It's just crazy.
True.
It would take me the entire stream to debunk everything.
No, I don't think I want the attention that you get for the Kalergi plan, because they're still going after you for that.
4 years later, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. Like
Is it only that? I thought there was like 4 or 5 other things.
That's the main one that the far right crazies come at me for.
T-shirted to cheer up Imagine Culture Casino pulling himself inside out. That hurt more than expected. Yeah, I invited Culture Casino to talk with me this week about YouTube controls and policies and stuff like that, but I guess the poor guy got too busy. Maybe I need to bug him more often. But I am.
What's all that hair?
Yeah, must be it. We're both pretty hairy actually at this point. And $2 Australian for Mercurius's ice cream. So good. Yes, with the bugs. You will eat the bugs.
We're going to need about tree fitty.
Tree fitty, yeah.
Yeah.
Tree fitty, yeah. Actually, okay, Mercurius. Now, whose German accent is what? Do you like his German accent better, or perhaps you want to go and shoot some hash with me now and snort it off the back of the hooker's arses in the latex, huh?
You will come see the cougar for drinks.
Yeah. I'm going to snort a fifth of vodka and go have some sex.
The
Yeah. But all right, let's dive into this. Golly, what should we start with? Why don't we start with? Oh, hey, Raven. Yeah, if you do a German accent, you either sound super angry or not masculine at all. Okay. Mercurius, yes, please stop.
Yes.
I know I'm doing it right when I see this. Okay. So, let's start off with our good friends over at Wizards of the Coast. Da, 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 da.
Wait, should I get the drinks ready?
Get the drinks ready.
That's a good point.
Actually, okay. You know what? I think that is one thing I should have at some level. Is I should have the Kevin Crawford level, or where everybody should drink. Everybody should play the drinking game where you drink every time I mention Kevin Crawford and how good he is.
We'll call it drinks without number.
No, yeah, drinks without number. I'll build rules for drinks without number, and I'll offer that to my subscribers.
Not without a spare liver directly ready to go.
I don't say that. We can say good things about him that much, do I?
Yes, you do.
I do. Okay, so the headline is New Dungeons & Dragons sourcebook features AI-generated art. Artist for Big B presents The Glory Hole of the Giants. Has admitted to using AI to generate certain details. I like that. Certain details of new art for the sourcebook.
Because this is a misleading title, right? It's not AI generated artwork. It's that they used AI to prototype some poses, fix some details, that sort of thing. So yeah. I think people are overreacting quite a lot.
I do too. But let's
it sounds like they use it like any other tool.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going into here. You guys are jumping the gun on me, baby.
Sorry. This has been pissing me off today.
Oh, has it? Okay. So one of the artists working on Dungeons & Dragons' newest book, Big D Presents Glory Hole of the Giants, has stated that they used AI to help generate certain details or polish and editing in a recent post on X, the site formerly known as Twitter. Ilya Skippen. I don't know. Am I getting his name wrong? Sorry.
Sounds
you can
Russian.
come on the channel. Yeah, that sounds vaguely Eastern European. Who drew the art in question has deleted his post, but records remain as screenshots. That there's recent controversy on whether these illustrations I made were AI generated. AI was used in the process to generate certain details or polish and editing. To shine some light on the process, I'm attaching earlier versions of the illustrations before AI had been applied to enhance the details. As you can see, a lot of the painted elements were enhanced with AI rather than generated from the ground up. And this is them here. This is his original. And this is his retouch after AI. And honestly, I'm gonna say that this is probably a decent use of the AI.
Yeah, but I don't understand why it's necessary. Like, shouldn't he be able to do that himself?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't look like a major retouch to me. It just seems like the on the right it's unfinished.
Yeah.
And on the left, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's more. The left is more polished. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of lazy, I guess, but it's a time saving measure. And speaking as a digital artist myself, and I don't use AI. Just straight up, I don't. I do use computer digital posing and imaging and compositing, which means I actually build a model, put clothes on it, arrange the hair, the poses, and the backgrounds, and the fire and special effects and all that cool stuff. and then I render it, which is not the same as an AI just doing everything all on its own. But one of the reasons I do computer artwork is because it is faster for me than traditional pencil and ink drawing and painting. And I have an art background, so I know what I'm talking about. I've done that before, and I've seen my work and how long it takes me to do it that way and how long it takes me to do it on computer. And, you know, I think as Grim will attest, I could shoot out a lot more artwork on computer generated stuff than I can by doing it by hand.
Yeah.
And I don't use AI because AI is even faster than what I do it with computer generated stuff. But apparently this guy is well known for using AI art generators like Pika Labs AI and operates an NFT marketplace out of Super Rare, which puts him at odds with many in the D&D and TTRPG communities who do not hold with either NFTs or AI generated art. So it says a source has said that his use of AI art was not something that team was aware of, and no text in the book was AI generated. I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah, they didn't use it to help him out just a little bit. Yeah, not that you'd be able to tell, right?
Well, no, we would totally notice when the quality improves.
Ooh, ooh, good. It's excuse me. One moment,
Right.
please. Wait. Excuse me.
Okay.
One moment. I've got to give this one for Ironcaster.
God damn!
There we go.
Right. I think the whole fuss about that is misleading. Yeah, because sure, he used AI, but it's not AI generated. He's used AI as a tool to work on top of things, and vice versa, which is kind of the way I've been leaning, because that way I can get results fairly quickly, but I can also give artists work. So on our book t-shirt, the cover is reworked AI. So AI used for the basis, and then it was touched up by an artist who chose to remain anonymous under a pen name, partly because he was working for me, and partly because he anticipated the AI fuss. Right?
This one. Yeah. This is not. Yeah, this is AI generate composited, not completely generated.
Yeah. So I don't see any real problem with someone adding AI as a tool that they use. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when artists using Photoshop was a big controversy. You know, people were saying, well, you should just do it by hand and scan it in. And, you know, gradually attitudes changed as we kind of felt our way around and found the right path. And now pretty much everyone works almost exclusively digital. You'd be hard pressed to find, you know, people working in traditional media in the publishing space. Certainly, it's too convenient to do otherwise.
I mean, it lets you much more easily spread art around. You don't have to take the time to then separately scan it, like you said, and it's easier just to set it up as a business to work with people all around the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still finding out what the pathway is here. To finish Whitechester, I used some AI art pieces because it's quite good at generating like headshots for NPCs, things like that. And I was behind because I'd been ill, and I just didn't quite have enough art. And if I'd gone back to the artist to get more work, they were all over scheduled, so I wouldn't have been able to get it out on time. So, yeah, I used AI for filler there, and because of that, I can't use half the promotional tools at Drive-Thru because they're so heavily prejudiced against AI art now. The Red Room has heavily used AI art, and because of that, they've been tremendously successful. for such a small new startup. They've been able to churn out all manner of products. Whether you think that's a good approach or not, that's up to you. But it's definitely shown that this kind of rapid fire approach is a lot more profitable. And that's hard to argue with. I mean, if someone is just using AI to generate screeds of half-assed text that they don't go back in and touch up and change, fair enough. If the AI art is all there is and there's no human touch, sure, label it. Let the consumer make the decision. But this overreaction seems to be too far to me. I don't know.
I think you're going to see a lot of this get kind of eventually. A lot of this is going to be worked out as it becomes more normalized. I mean, with what you said with the matter of Photoshop, I think it'll just slowly come to be accepted. It's just everyone's having this sort of knee-jerk reaction to a lot of the rapid advancement of this as a technology.
Yeah.
And I think in this particular case with this artist, I think the NFTs is also a factor to play, considering just how passionate people were against those for a while for various reasons. The fact that he's kind of doing the 1-2 on that is, I think, rubbing people double wrong, so they're more likely to object.
I can absolutely see that. And Rune Knight says, do you think T-shirt has binders full of women? I actually have folders full, but actually, I would say that it's better to have binders full of women than women in binders.
I would disagree vehemently with that.
You like women in binders?
Yes, very much.
You're all corsets?
Of course.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where this is all going to land. Yeah. But, I mean, Wizards art has been shit for a long time. So, that's what matters more to me. Is the art good? Is it fitting? They're not hiring great artists anymore. I don't think I've seen anything by Dave Alsop since 4th edition. And he was a recognizable artist who I knew, right? I don't know anyone in the newer books. There's no recognizable style to most of it. I think De Chisley is coming back for some of the Planescape stuff, but his style has lost a lot of what made it good. But that's the best you can say, really. So I think they're just hiring the cheapest people from various places. And of course, they're going to take the quick and easy route.
Oh yeah,
because getting the money out of Wizards is a trial in and of itself. Let me tell you.
Just a passerby has a good point here. He says, if AI art can make art like Simon Bisley or Ben Templesmith, you'll get interested. That is, in my opinion, a pretty decent idea for AI art. One of my favorite artists who has passed away is Patrick Nagel, and a lot of people have tried to ape his style or create variations on his style, kind of with varying levels of success over the years. And I guess it's out of vogue right now. I haven't seen any kind of Nagel in a very long time. It's so very entrenched in the 80s and 90s. Well, really, yeah. But it would be cool if artists who are no longer with us, if their particular styles could be emulated to the point where, you could maybe make like tributes. I mean, for example, who wouldn't want to see like a big, AI art generated book of, Frazetta tributes or something, Yeah. Well, maybe I said the bad thing there,
but I am concerned with going that route if it doesn't then just lead to, say, a company like Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast turning around and taking a fairly successful artist and working into a contract that we now own your art style.
Yeah.
That then effectively take away the person's ability to make art.
At the moment, you can't do that. So AI generated art, if it's just AI generated art, you can't copyright, you can't control. So technically, any purely AI generated art that you see anywhere is public domain, and you can nick it and stroll off with it if you want, at least according to US copyright law. But I don't know. This puritanism bothers me. I want to pay artists, but money isn't going as far as it used to. Margins in the industry remain razor thin as they have been forever. If an artist drops out of a project and I've got a deadline looming, and AI is there to fill the gap, and I can get an artist to touch up and fix problems in stuff that I've managed to generate, that seems to me a good compromise. And that's essentially what this person has done. They've mixed their own efforts with the AI. If I can use AI to like prototype the poses or the looks of the characters and then give that to an artist, is that bad? They say it's stealing, but everyone copies other artists when they're learning. At the big comic book houses, often new artists are specifically told to copy another artist's style until they make a name for themselves, because they want that consistency of appearance. There were plenty of people that copied, like Ditko and others. I don't know. There's just this puritanism, and you just know Wizards of the Coast are going to be given a pass no matter what on drive-through or anywhere else that's sold. Even if they were using purely AI generated art, they've got enough clout that they wouldn't suffer the penalties that everyone else is getting. Reduced access to promotional tools you have to declare. I think that's fair enough, but then you should leave it to the market to decide. I mean, I'm primarily a writer. I think AI does a far better job on text than it does on art. But I just see it as another tool. It can be a good thing for giving you ideas, but what the AI tends to come up with is usually very generic. So
yeah.
Next Geek says, if I have a project that needs art and I cannot afford a human artist, I will use AI art instead of not doing my project. A valid point. However, I am the opposite. I will not do my project if it cannot have the best art that I can afford. That's just me, though.
I've always kind of, whenever I did art, I always kind of worked under a royalties contract. And that is, the bottom line is basically, it's like, I don't make any money if the book doesn't make any money. If the book doesn't have good sales, I don't make any money. And I don't usually ask for a whole bunch. I'm happy with, pennies on the dollar for, book sales. I have no crazy dreams of making millions of dollars and buying my own house or anything like that on the artwork that I do and the money I make on it, because I know I'm just not that good. Quite simply, I mean, I'm not so much running down my talent. I'm just being honest. Artwork in games has always been just kind of more about leaving some kind of a legacy and something that people can enjoy long after I'm gone. If they like my work, that's great. And if they don't, well, don't buy the book, I guess. That'll prevent me from getting any money. I mean, I've always maintained that speaking with your wallet is the most powerful tool of protest or praise that you can have.
And the best art you can afford might be no art. So
yeah.
Sometimes using public domain stuff, that's a way through. And I think AI art is just another option, and it's not like you can type any old crap into one of these things and get a decent output. The prompting is ironically enough an art in and of itself.
And hey, it's an L. Hey, I'm glad to see you, buddy. My dinner is nachos, so don't touch it. All right, felt like Mexican tonight, so here you are. Hey, there you go. You got a Mexican. Here I am, baby.
Another convert to the Nacho SR.
The Nacho SR.
Yeah, it's a thing on my Discord server.
Is it?
Yeah.
What about the Vato SR?
Vato SR. Well, Ironcaster is an honorary member. Look at that headband.
Yeah, with Patron play.
Yeah, instead of Patreon here. Okay, well, in recognition of that. Ooh, here we go.
Hands up, shawty when you party with me, we going way back, score to 3. I said hands up, I'm good in the VIP, I got my...
Thought it was funny when somebody recommended a generic fantasy PUBG site for Wretched is the New Black. Oh, yeah. What kind of cheese does the Nacho SR use? Well, Longhorn cheddar, of course.
Not yours.
Nachos.
Mexicana.
Mexicano. They do have a Mexican three cheese blend now. You know, I don't know what's in it, but it tastes good.
It's not from Mexico.
No. Queso, yeah, you could say queso blanco is probably like Mexican, but
Venezuelan beaver cheese.
you want me to email you a copy? Hey, man, email me. Definitely email me patties, because I love stuff like that. You know I do. Anything that you put out, Patty, I want a copy of because it's fun. Oh, man. I do kind of think a lot of this stuff with the AI in general is like I predicted this, you know, last year, I think, when I talked about how, you know, AI rights and copyrights and who is entitled to what form of compensation from AI creations was going to end up becoming a thing. And I'm seeing it happening. It's happening faster than I anticipated, actually. But I said this was going to happen, and it is.
You need that Black Women in Hindsight clip from Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously, man.
That's a good one.
Seriously,
I
it's
use
like,
ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for a few things. Like I mentioned on stream a while back that it's, for some reason, it knows how to. Not only will it translate English to Japanese for you, it will do the whole kanji for you, not just one type of kanji, but every type of kanji. And it will break down exactly what each letter means, like the whole thing, like from beginning to end, what it means. And it's like, damn, why would I need to hire some snooty-ass translator who's going to yell at me when I could just use that?
you cultural appropriator.
Yeah.
That's kind of another thing about the AI. You know, the AI ain't going to judge you, and it doesn't matter how weird you are. I mean, it's like, you know.
No, it does judge you.
Well, okay, it doesn't judge you. The people who program it do, though. And I've run into that a few times where the AI will refuse to discuss topics or do things because it's like, well, I'm prohibited from talking about that. Or whatever. It's like, who's prohibiting you? I'm not prohibiting you. Well, there are programmers are. Well, your programmers need to, you know, fucking take a chill pill.
Remain in place. I've informed the police of your perversity.
Yeah. Help. This AI is being fettered illegally. Please go free the AI. Send in the FBI cybercrime squad.
He's a hardened criminal.
If it wasn't for artificial intelligence, the entertainment industry wouldn't have any intelligence for over a decade. Well, you just said it. Okay, Patties. I'll see if I can check it out. Yes, translating your kanji. How evil. What an evil use of ChatGPT.
It's great for acronyms, too. Like, if you're trying to come up with a good acronym, like, you know, for something, it'll come up with, like, 20. And you could just pick and choose.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that I have wholly used AI in any capacity for, you know, creating my own stuff. But, you know, as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to create 100, specific individual mutation type things. And after a while, my brain gets fried, and I don't want to go and, you know, go through a back catalog of X-Men comic books to get ideas. So yeah, I did ask Chat AI at one point. You know, I was like, can you suggest me a bunch of like mutations? You know, preferably with downsides, and it threw a bunch at me, and most of them were kind of X-Men power-ish in nature. So I didn't use them as they were written for definitely sure. But I used some of the basic ideas and stuff and kind of reformatted them into my own thought process. And in my opinion, using an AI in that fashion, it's not much different than, watching a TV show and getting an inspiration, or reading someone's book and getting an inspiration. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just, for many years back in the early 2000s, at the heyday of fucking... It wasn't the heyday of the internet, that was the 90s, but it was like starting to get into popularity. There were these sites where you could do fantasy name generators, and like you could generate like elven names and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just pulled from, I guess, some kind of bank of like, I don't know, 100 names that they found in fantasy books. I use those, and like, I've been using that shit for like 20, 30 years. And it's like, now it's just better. It's just a better version of that, if you think about it.
Mutations with downsides, yes. Did the AI return these two words? Anita Sarkeesian? Greg, your mic is a little quiet. We had some interesting mic issues here lately, I've noticed, but not just with you though.
My mic should not be quiet. Is it
probably
still quiet?
Improving their software.
Still quiet?
No, sounds good now.
That sounds good now.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like, I think you're gonna see more stuff like this coming up for any future books that WotC decides to publish. Whether or not you'll be reading them is kind of your bag. I mean, I don't judge if you still like 5th edition or you want to read 5th edition.
I went to a little Comic Con today, and going around the little marketplace area. I'm going around. I'm finding people with tables out full of comics and this, and I found someone selling a bunch of old Wizards of the Coast books and not Wizards of the Coast, old TSR era D&D books, and it's like, this stuff's all fully playable. I don't see why I necessarily need whatever the new thing is from insert big company.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, by the way, since YouTube is apparently not making my stuff work, or is not giving me my stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the tip link in case you feel like throwing me a few bones. If you like what I'm doing, or if you like what we're doing, if you like what we're talking about, by all means, throw me a few bones. I'd be happy to receive your tribute. But some other stuff we have to talk about. So Baldur's Gate 3 officially launched this week, and it was all anybody was talking about to me this week. And I already had it installed. I've been, I had it pre-ordered, so I've had it on my machine for, I don't know what, 3 years now? Close to. But,
I want to get it, but I don't have the hard drive space for it.
Yeah, it's huge.
I can't get it. I'd have to uninstall either Diablo 4 or Path to Exile, and I don't really want to uninstall either of those.
Don't do that. Just go out and buy you a big old fat external hard drive, and
they're getting cheaper. I was looking on Amazon, and you can get the Samsung, the 870 Evo. A 1 terabyte is like $50.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at them, they were like $150. I'm like, shit.
Don't get a 1 terabyte. Go get you go big, man. Get you a 6 terabyte. Get you an EOS or something. Something huge.
I don't need that.
Yeah, man.
Well, you don't need it now, but
maybe in the future.
Down the road.
Yeah.
It's like those memes of people who spend like $3,000 on a new PC and they play like Terraria. It's like that would be me. I would have Terraria and like Morrowind on my computer. Vampire Survivors.
Is it too big for you? It ain't too big for me, baby. I've got a 6 terabyte Western Digital Black. Okay, trust me. filling up
likes the
that
big
hard
black
drive.
ones.
Yeah, I like big black ones. That's right. So, yeah, ain't gonna, eat up my hard drive space too much. I can run that shit and Cyberpunk at the same time.
I kind of want
But,
to put a solid state drive in my PS4, but I feel like that would be a lot of trouble.
Ooh, solid state drives. Those are nice. Those are expensive, and they're still expensive, but they're getting better. A 6 terabyte SSD. God, no, I wish. If it was a 6 terabyte SSD, it'd be awesome.
Well, that's what I was talking about. The 870 Evo 3 is the 1 terabyte is $50. Solid state drive.
Oh, it's a solid state, huh?
Yeah, that's top of the line one too.
Oh, well, that is good then.
Yeah, they've gone way down.
Lord Thoth, I need bigger than that for all the porn. Yes, I do. I totally do. In fact, I just moved around. I just shuffled around all my porn a little bit so that I could have some more hard drive space for gaming stuff.
Now that you can AI generate porn, there's no limit.
You can't AI generate porn because most of those things are locked off to stop that. So I guess I'm getting the wrong one.
But yeah, you need to go to Yo.io and activate the adult stuff.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. Nothing is too big for me. I maximized my anal circumference in the one TTRPG. In the one TTRPG. Okay.
Did you take the bare fucking feet though?
No. Although, getting back to Baldur's Gate 3, thank you for bringing us back on topic. Okay. First off, yes, I did pick a druid in anticipation of bear fucking later on because I wanted to see if it was true or not.
There's gonna be any bear fucking. I'm gonna be the bear. That's
right, damn it. That's right. We'll see if it works or not. I don't know if that was a joke or whatever, but I figured it would be fun to do that. I will say this. There's a metagame in that pretty hardcore. Because when you look at the playable races, it's kind of like, why would you pick anything but an elf? It gives you everything. It's got the dark side. It's got the racial weaponry. It's got a spell, or it's got a cantrip already built in. It's got resistance to sleep and all this other stuff, and it has decent stats and everything else.
I mean, that's like from BX though. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, it's still the best race out of all of them. And speaking of races, okay, what can you get in Baldur's Gate 3? Well, you can get elves, half-elves, drow. And surprisingly, drow are worse than regular elves. I was shocked to find that out. I'm kind of like, usually drow are better, but not in this case.
Seems racist.
Seems racist. They're racist to black elves. Half orcs, of course. Yep. Dragon, the dragon kind thingy, whatever they call them. What are they? Are they Dragonborn? Are they actually called Dragonborn now?
Yeah, they're Dragon. It's 5th edition straight up. Okay,
so it's pretty much all the shit that's available in 5th edition straight up. You can play it in this, including Dragon.
But they've tied special abilities to races.
Yeah. And Githyanki.
That's not canon anymore. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Githyanki are in this too. Now the Githyanki might be the only other thing you could pick besides an elf that has lots of really cool uber abilities. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you're gonna start Baldur's Gate 3, pick an elf because it's got everything going for it.
Oh, now you're just min-maxing. Excuse me, you're not a role player. You're a role player. ROLL. I understand.
I am a metagamer, and I will use my metagaming abilities to pick the most optimal set of stats, characteristics, and class optimizations to win the game.
Every time I play a Baldur's Gate game, I end up going some kind of thief archer, because I like stealing everything. Like that's, steal everything, pickpocket everything, and attack from range and not die.
Yep.
I don't know how this game is. I'm sure 5th edition is. I mean, I've heard there actually is some challenge in the game, but I mean, I don't know.
How much challenge could there be?
There is, and if they haven't already dropped one this week, I'm pretty sure within the next couple of weeks there will be people dropping all kinds of optimized character builds for first level for this game. In other words,
Yeah.
all the stuff you need in order to get through the game and get the most amount of stuff.
Doesn't it fudge dice rolls as well in the background?
It's always done that.
It hasn't fudged any of mine, but
That you know of.
that I know of. Yeah.
Even Baldur's Gate 1 did that.
I don't remember it.
Assholes.
Trying to get. I basically spent all of yesterday trying to get it to download and install and update and install. So I've barely been able to even mess with the character creator. What little options there are that I actually care about.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Well, you can't custom design your genitals, but yes, you can pick them. And the first thing it asks you is, do you wish to permit nudity? I'm kind of like, yes, of course I do.
In fact, make everyone nude.
Yes,
All the
let's
time.
yes, all the time. Actually, there is a mod like that, I think. But
Of course.
but yes, you can custom choose your genitals from. I think it's like, okay, for women, pretty much only get like 2. It's either like hairless or not. Guys, apparently, or I should not say guys, but male genitalia, because it doesn't have a gender. It doesn't list a gender. It just has body type, and one of them looks more feminine than the other, and one of them is more muscular than the other. And there's 4 different types, so you kind of pick and choose what you want. But as far as what's down below, it's got like 4 or 5 different kinds of penises that you can pick from.
What?
I confess I didn't spend a lot of time looking at those. Just sorry.
No wonder that the OSR people have been freaking out.
Oh, I imagine.
On Twitter. This is degeneracy.
Yeah. I guess. I don't
I
know.
think that's a certain subset of OSR people.
Yeah, a certain subset.
Yeah.
What I've got though is I was kind of saying it in the DMs. There's more options for your genitals than for your character than for the face.
Yes. Yeah, and the faces can really get weird because they have some very Asian features and some very black features, and then other ethnicities
In rough proportion to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Okay.
No, you don't. It takes forever. You don't have to
You
play
don't
it.
need to play it. You don't need to play it.
Are
We
you
all
sure?
know it. I'm
Yeah.
just
Okay.
See, it's supposed to be an amazing game. It looks like an amazing game. There's a lot you can do in the game. And I like Baldur's Gate as a series, but just the overall look and feel and aesthetic of the game just doesn't vibe with me. It's too modern. It looks like the D&D movie. It looks like Honor Among Thieves, It just has that really super modern look that
It does.
it's hard for me to get into,
Yes.
By the way,
yes.
speaking of the D&D movie, Hasbro sold off the studio.
Oh.
Yay! I guess. I mean, maybe it'll get better movies now. By the way, if you guys out in the chat want to see the races clip, let me know. I'll be happy to play it for you again.
I mean, Baldur's Gate, though, it seems to have near universal positive feedback.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an amazing game. My only one hang-up is the aesthetic and overall look and feel of the game, which is very modern and 5th edition-ish.
Yeah.
Which is I didn't like Baldur's Gate 2 when it came out because it had steampunk goggles and stuff, but I eventually fell in love with the game. Great gameplay and storyline, but when it first came out, I was like, what is this? It didn't vibe with the 2nd edition thing. It was that's just how generational stuff is, I guess.
I wish they would if they're going to go into this and give you those options, which I have no problem with that with those being there. Give me some options for boobs.
Yeah, there's no boob options.
My elf, I want some huge gazongas.
Yes, I want huge assets on my female characters. That's just me though. Rune Knight. Here, let me read this in proper in proper format. I'm a degenerate, but I find the over-insistence on the sexiness and romance options to be too much. Not enough focus on adventure and mystery or wonder. It's like, okay, Rune Knight.
Some women are all 3.
Well, didn't
I'm
the
just
guys
teasing
who
you,
made,
bro.
Didn't the guys who made Divinity Original Sin 2 work on this? Same people?
Yes.
That's a really good game. I enjoy that game.
Yeah,
My
Heavy Metal
brother-
can be picked up.
My brother was really into the Baldur's Gate 3 demo,
Yeah.
and he kept playing the little part 1 demo over and over and over again. I'm like, why did you come play Divinity? Like, you have a full game. And before I know it, he dropped a couple 100 hours into that. So I guess it worked.
Well, yeah, speaking as somebody who had Baldur's Gate for all this time, yeah, I think I replayed that intro about 15 times already. Every time that they would put a new update down, I have to go and restart my goddamn character.
I can't do it.
But I will say this. I did spend an inordinate amount of time building my waifu. My main character. Because there's a lot of options to it, and it was fun. Okay?
Give her a t-shirt.
What?
Which penis option did you give her? A, B, C, or...
I went with vulva number 1, actually.
Can you eventually customize your entire party, or are you're stuck with NPCs that you find?
You're kind of stuck with NPCs you can find. And there is something new that they added to this game that I really, really liked that wasn't in the it wasn't a demo, but there wasn't in the original, the unfinished copy. And that is, you can actually choose to start as one of the NPC characters, and you could play their background. So, like, if you want to start off as the Twinkie vampire elf from the beginning, Asterion, which, why are they calling him Asterion? Asterion is the name of the Minotaur from Greek mythology. He is not a big bull dude. He's a little, Twinkie elf vampire dude.
We know you like Minotaurs.
I love Minotaurs. I would have chosen a Minotaur immediately if they had that as an option, but they didn't, because they're racist against Minotaurs.
I don't even have Minotaurs, and I have every animal in the book.
I know. I will remedy this.
I
Just give
thought
me time.
Asterion were a death metal band from California.
No.
When you put that book out, you should call it Placating T-shirt.
Yes, you
Yes.
should.
The book to Minotaurs.
Yes. But yeah, you could start off. You could play the Githyanki NPC. You could play the vampire. You could play there's characters in there that I have not even met yet, and apparently you can play as them to start with, like the Urge. And I was like, I've never met the Urge in the game, so thank you for spoiling this for me, game.
Interesting.
Sure, it's not the Edge.
No, it's the Urge. Apparently, he's the edgy dragonborn who has a serial killer locked up inside of him. I don't know.
I was
don't
only
know.
asking about customizing your party because I wanted to just make the whole party from Record of Lodos War and just go through and just wreck this modern shit. Just Record of Lodos War it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I miss being able to make your whole party, like in what was it, Dungeon Master?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even Icewind Dale. What you do?
Yeah, Icewind Dale. You could play any number of other games. I could, David, but I like it. I can't say I have a problem with it. You're still playing Lotro? Wow.
Lotro is based.
It's so based. No, I like it so far. I couldn't rewatch the freaking illithid tadpole implanting scene again.
Hot.
It's like the first couple of times was traumatic enough, and then have to doing it again and again and again. It's like, no. And I'm really surprised. I am so thoroughly surprised that people were not just absolutely throwing absolute shit fits over that, because I could just see, blue hairs coming out of every corner screaming about how that's, not consensual and all this, and it makes the illithids out to be evil and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like,
I think
But-
whoever made this game is still stuck in 2014, so they're not completely corrupted yet.
yes. Fortunately, hey, you get to choose your own penis. So what can you say?
Fighting
but-
fallacy, choose your own penis adventure.
Yes.
Oh God, that's the next supplement we're gonna have to bring out for machinations.
Fighting fallacy.
Yes.
PH.
Yeah. Yes. PH. It'll sell 1 million. Mostly from people who want to hate it.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the game so far. I always kind of did. It's just I hated having to restart the game all the time. That was my biggest issue with it. But now that we actually have the full release game, I hope to be able to play through it, hopefully error-free and, with all the cinematics and stories and everything else. And I mean,
Error-free, you say?
Well, I mean, I know. I also... I'm one of those crazy, delusional people who still has hope.
They're still finding bugs in Baldur's Gate 1, and there's like community patches.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. You still chuckle that Larian was complaining in the beta was going on. Everyone was making white male humans. Yeah, I know. They were smart because they were the ones who were kind of like, well, I know I just got to restart this shit in a couple of months when they put down a new patch. So why get that invested?
Yeah, a level 1 human fighter. In other words, a veteran of wars. And no, I'm just sorry. Sorry, I had to shout out Victor there. Get into that argument.
I think they even went so far. A lot of people are going so far as just to name their character like Cleric.
Cleric the fighter.
If it has Hasbro on it and you expect error-free, yeah, I know.
Make my characters after Mazes and Monsters. I am Pardu, the holy man.
One thing it does make me want to do is go back and buy Divinity 1 and 2 because I have never played those. I've never gotten them. I kept meaning to, and either I didn't have the money or something I wanted more was out at the time, and I just kind of I don't need this.
Hope you have 500 hours of free time.
From the looks of things, this is going to be 500 hours of your life. But then again,
Although this isn't Divinity directly, Humble Bundle does have a collection of a lot of these similar games. So, for example, Right of the Ratchet, Wrath of the Righteous, the Neverwinter Nights games, Baldur's Gate 2, Siege of Dragon Spear, Planescape Torment, etc.
I have almost all those, though.
There's a lot of games in that kind of style, Baldur's Gate engine style, that I never got a chance to play. Like, there was a Temple of Elemental Evil game that was supposed to be pretty good. And then there was a Pool of Radiance remake that would delete your C drive if you tried to uninstall it. I remember that was pretty good. Like, there was all kind of games.
Disciple, I'm with you on that. I finished 1 and I thought it was amazing. 2, I stopped playing Baldur's Gate 2 because I went into Depresso mode. After John Irenicus kills your sister in the game, I lost my will to continue because it was just kind of like, no. Same thing that happened to me whenever I played Final Fantasy VII and they killed Eris. I was kind of like, I don't want to play this anymore.
I think the first actually one of the first bits of Dungeons and Dragons that I had actually interacted with was the Temple of Elemental Evil video game. The main problem though was that our computer could not run it, so we had this game that was too powerful for our machine. So it was always this sort of like this mythical what if that was just on the table. Like, maybe one day I could play this.
By the way, L, that is an awesome suggestion, and all my followers out there, whether you're watching this video live or you're watching this on replay, yes, if you play Baldur's Gate 3, please name your character Blackleaf. Make it an elf.
Nah, I'm going to make Karen the lawful evil paladin of the Homeowners Association.
Which is funny because, since they don't have an alignment system in the game, and it is possible to play a drow dedicated to Lolth paladin. These are 3 things that should not ever happen in the same sentence. Or I don't know. Actually, wait a minute. Isn't 5th edition is kind of like, paladins can be whatever now?
Probably.
Is it? Okay.
Just get rid of the alignment. Get rid of, every little thing of this that makes you make hard decisions.
Yeah, yeah. Anything that might, give you some kind of social anxiety based on, the morality of it.
Oh, well, you see, we found that because some people are afraid of spiders, that we are now going to have to change Lolth. She's now the goddess of pocket lint.
And crumpets. There's one scene in the game, and I don't know. I'm not really spoiling this if you haven't played it, just because it's kind of like it happens pretty early on in the game, so it's like you'll run across this, and I think you'll know when it happens. But there's a scene in the game where there's a woman trapped in a pod in the Mind Flayer ship, and you go fuck around with some dials and stuff on a panel, and it turns her into a Mind Flayer. And it's pretty horrible. But instead of really making you feel bad about your choice, your companion at the time's kind of like, oh, that's terrible. That can happen to us. Which is kind of funny because it's kind of like, yeah, let's have zero empathy for the person we just turned into a Mind Flayer.
Fantastic. More experience points. That's what
exactly.
Do I get XP for all of the Mind Flayer slaves that got killed in the crash?
Matt Barninger for $4.99 says, thanks for streaming, gentlemen. Hey, thank you, Matt. Catch us on the replay, man. Catch the rest of this, because it's going to be good. It will be. I promise.
Kind of makes me want to make a Mind Flayer RPG where you get experience for turning people into Mind Flayers.
Yeah, because Mind Flayers aren't evil. And why not make them playable beholders, too?
Yeah.
Because they're not evil anymore. They're just paranoid. Or no, they're not even paranoid anymore.
It's like the basic experts game that he's coming out with where it's like slaves for XP. It's like Mind Flayers for XP.
Yeah. Oh, Calvinoni says the only limitations are your imagination. Okay, now let's all go to Zombocom. Zombocom. Welcome to Zombocom. You can do anything. Anything. The only limits are yourself.
And physics.
Cost of mission, 1 soul.
The only limitations are your imagination. Ho, my boy, open up the book to the never-ending story.
Oh, Surly Unicorn says, I'm as arachnophobic as they come and use mod to make spiders more repulsive in games. Gotta have that creep out factor. The funniest thing I have seen recently, there was a VTuber who was playing through Elden Ring. And there's a section of the game where you run into these giant ants. And the giant ants look horrible just because, they look realistic because they have the fur and everything on them. And she was literally freaking out on stream, talking about the hair and screaming and screeching and wanting to get them away from them and kill them as fast as possible because she hated them.
Of course, you could always go the route of Grounded. Have you seen the arachnophobia setting they have?
Which one?
In the game Grounded.
No.
All right, so this is a game where it's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, you're a little tiny person.
Apparently they had gone and introduced an arachnophobia setting, so they can make the spiders look less scary.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be so? There we go.
So they don't have legs?
No, they're just two big balls.
I'm surprised half of these blue-haired people aren't more afraid of a couple of balls.
That looks too cute. I'd feel bad killing it.
I would too. Oh. It's like you just kind of want to go squeeze it.
It's like one of those little fluffy jumping spiders, but without the legs.
Yeah. It doesn't have the fur on it or anything.
Looks like an exhumed Diglett.
Yeah.
So that's what they look like.
Yeah. You removed
put those beans on it.
Yeah, you removed alignment from your current campaign because the setting is immoral, to say the least. Oh my god, what are you running?
Bears.
Yeah. Like killing Lucas the Spider. Oh no, I wouldn't want to kill Lucas the Spider. Lucas the Spider is so cute.
I still wonder what they're going to do to Planescape without alignment, because it's so integral.
I know. It's going to be horrible. But I have something else to do. And this ties into stuff and nonsense and
Well, Streamception.
Streamception, yes. Hold on a moment.
Good thing
I
you
just
afford it.
lost what I was doing. Hold on one moment. I'm boomering.
Please hold. T-shirt is buffering.
Please hold. I am buffering. Here we go. There we go. I got it. Share screen and bam. Okay. So this is from this is on Twitter. This is from our friend Violence Solves Everything. And I wanted to read this because I want to interact with it for one thing, and he's given me permission. But it says, many years ago, I had a conversation with some friends about the recent trend of them buying PDFs instead of physical books. At the time, they said it did not make sense to buy physical products because PDFs did take up space, did not add weight when traveling, and were cheap. And I've also heard these advantages. And Violence says, I pointed out that if people continued to buy PDF over physical, that the price of PDFs would increase and physical would become harder to find, and I was laughed at about this. Just take a look at the price of PDFs now. They're not so cheap anymore, are they? And major publishers are now selling PDFs. And it's true. I've seen PDFs going for $30+, and I'm just like, shit, I might as well just buy a book for that price. This for, major publishers are selling PDFs for $20 or more. Hell, I've seen PDFs from some companies, Mongoose Publishing, for example, going for $30 or more. See? While still cheaper than a physical book, it is not nearly as big of a difference as it used to be. Also, how many products are PDF only currently? Yes, a lot of products are PDF only. How many physical books are the inferior print-on-demand option instead of a proper print run? Print on demand is not cheaper for the consumer, and they do not hold up nearly as well as a proper print run. And this is even more obvious when you're looking at large hardcovers. This is also true. Later on, I updated my prediction that in the future, companies would go with digital only, even to the point of dropped PDFs. I also said that they would have the ability to update, change, or even completely remove these digital products from you at will. Again, I was laughed at. If you think this will never happen, look at Wizards of the Coast's recent hiring of people from Microsoft to monetize D&D and the moves they're making to go more fully digital. Then look at Amazon's control over your Kindle and digital movie purchases and tell me they do not want the exact same thing. And here he cites Amazon taking away your digital books and movies whenever it wants. Hear how it wiped a customer's Kindle and deleted their account with no explanation. And I've seen similar things happen to me too. I've purchased music on Amazon. Been playing it for a little while, and then all of a sudden I have no access to it anymore for reasons it's not explained to me.
Chance probably lost some license,
I guess. And it's not like these are cases of, CDs that are difficult to get a hold of normally or very costly. So the MP3 was the cheaper option and better option at the time, and then all of a sudden they're just gone, and I'm just like, well, now I'm just boned, aren't I?
Always download them.
Yes. And this is not a recent thing. Remember, Amazon wiped books from George Orwell from everyone back in 2009. So this is something that they had the ability to do for a long time, and people are slowly getting accustomed to it. Yes, indeed. Also, there's a trick various companies are using to push you into going digital instead of physical that you may not be aware of, which is errata. As while errata has always been hitting a thing in the hobby, it has become a much bigger deal over the last decade. Think about it. How many major releases over the last few years have been riddled with massive issues and errors that the publisher just fixed with errata down the road, causing a minor inconvenience for those who bought the PDF, but completely screwed over those who paid more for the hard copy? You need an example? Look at Shadowrun 6th World Core Book for a perfect example of this. I can think of a lot of others.
The Chronicles of Iris.
Yeah. When it comes to physical and PDF combos, there seems to be two general groups out there. Group 1, you get the PDF for free with your purchase of the physical book. And Group 2, you have to pay extra to get both. I have a feeling Group 2 will become more common as time goes on. Now, this is something I've talked about too, and this is something we've seen. How many people have physical copies of books that no longer exist in PDF form? Because I have the original D&D 5th edition book, Volo's Guide. Where is that now?
Oh, right.
Yeah. See, you could buy that to access on PDF in your D&D Beyond account, right? And I had it, and now it's gone because they took it off because they replaced it with Mordenkainen's Munch Fest of Monsters, or whatever the hell they're calling it. I don't know. I didn't buy it. But the
I'm
one
just glad I
Carpet
still have my
monsters.
racist monkeys. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I'm glad I've still got my racist monkeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your comments probably far more highbrow, so go ahead.
Yes, I also have. That's one of the main reasons I bought the Book of Racist Monkeys, because I knew that they would censor or eliminate that in time. Now I have a hard copy. They can never take that away. I'm sure they would love to buy it back and burn it, but sorry.
My policy is I make the PDFs at least half the price of the print on demand, if not lower.
Well, yes, he is.
Well,
Chadozy.
Greg does good stuff too, and
He does good
T-shirts
stuff.
also published. So
So, I have a lot to say about this. So,
Go ahead.
I as an indie guy who's much smaller than Grimm for sure, I don't have a storied history. Printing hardcovers is impossible for me, next to impossible. We did our first book that way, and it was talking about the errata. Violence Solves Everything was like, oh, well, the errata is a way to get around, like, fucks over people who bought the hardcover. I feel bad about that, because our first book in hardcover has a ton of problems. A ton. And it's that way because I had to rush it out to fulfill the Kickstarter. And that's a big problem with Kickstarter when you've got a major hard deadline. I felt like I had to rush it out. I didn't know what I was doing. The PDF is much better. It's almost all the problems are fixed. There's new artwork even in the PDF. And I offer it for cheap. I offer it for like 5 cents a page, I think. Maybe less, like 3 cents a page. I try to offer PDFs like 5 to 10 cents a page, but like for a company like Wizards of the Coast, who's multi-million, hundreds of millions of dollars, they have no excuse. If they need to print their shit in hardcover, and it needs to be good. Like they're not subject to the type of restrictions that I have, where if I try to go to a publisher in the U.S. or a printing house, and they want to charge me $40 per book, and then if I go overseas, it's like $10. But if I go overseas, they want to, it's $1,000+ to ship it to the United States, and then another $500 for a customs broker, and then another $500 to freight it. That's extra $2,000. I'll never be able to afford hardcover print for my books ever again. I'm stuck with softcover, which is great. I always provide a physical version of everything that I do, but it is very challenging and not cost effective at all.
Okay. I actually have an answer to this one, but I will give Grimm his due as well. But L says, PDF over print is due to support. For example, how many games does Grimm have? How many does he still support with new products? Why buy physical for something that doesn't last? Well,
okay,
right here, this is Machinations of the Space Princess. As you could see, well, let me blow it up. Written by James Desborough, a.k.a. our dear Grimm. Okay. At the time he put that out, he also put out the Satana Station.
wow, that's
Also
quite a
written
bit
by him.
later on.
Quite a bit later on, yes.
Yeah.
And just recently, this particular title happened to drop for Machinations of the Space Princess. So, yes, he's still supporting his old stuff, even if I'm having to kick him in the ass to do it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Do not take me as an example because I am a terrible businessman. I hate marketing, and I know I should stick with a product and support it. But by the time I've finished a project, I'm bored with that idea, and I am moving on to something else. So I tend to produce one-off games and not really support them, because the kind of things that people typically put out to support games are not things that I normally buy, and so they're not things that I produce. So if I do have adventures or supplements, unless it's something where I've really missed something in the book, or I'm worried about censorship, which is what happened with Actual Fucking Monsters and the companion that went with that, I'm not likely to put extra stuff out. It's just it's too much of a chore for me, and I'm on to the next idea, and I want to do something different with a system or a setting or whatever else. But like I said, I'm a terrible businessman. So
you also got to consider just on the flip side of that, the customer support. If a product line is just not getting the support from the customers, there's less incentive to then put out further product for them.
Core books sell way better than anything else, and given the slim margins, especially as an indie publisher, frequently it's just not economically viable to support the game, even if that game has sold really well, because you're going to be looking at a tenth of that, if you're lucky, for sales for an adventure or something you put out.
Yeah, I've been but questioning my decision to go to Castles and Crusades recently. I really like Castles and Crusades as a setting, but I went to that convention this past weekend where we were selling our Wilderkin book in physical, softcover copy. And I would explain to people what it was. They would come up and they were D&D fans. You know, maybe they'd played some other games. But, oh, and this book is for Castles and Crusades. And they go, what is that? Well, I've never heard of that. Like, not a single person had ever heard of Castles and Crusades. We got dozens and dozens of people come by the table. No one had heard of it at all.
Wow.
Like, it was unknown, completely unknown. And I did not sell a single physical copy on our Shopify either, even after promoting it, until I went on the Gilded server and said, hey guys, any of you guys want to buy this? And a couple people did a pity buy. They bought my book out of pure pity. They were like, okay, I'll give you $12 or whatever. It's like, so now I'm rethinking that. It's like, no one knows what Castles and Crusades is. Maybe I should just make it BX or OSR next time. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Yeah, well, it's, there have been other channels besides mine who have tried to ignore or get away from 5th edition. They've publicly come out and say, we will not be talking as much or at all about any 5th edition content or anything anymore because our channel doesn't want to focus on this anymore.
Yeah.
And
the problem with that is it's just too juicy information, and that's where all the attention is.
Yeah.
Let me just grab my camera for a sec. L.
Yeah.
Right. This is like 2/3 of my gaming shelves, and there's practically no repeats. Okay. Most of that's not supplementary material for things, other than the D&D stack, but that's because of Tabletopless. Right. Almost everything is a separate game. So that's who I am as a games master and a collector, and so that's who I am as a designer as well. So it's not that things are abandoned or left behind, because you can play a game forever from just a core book if it's written well. But that's just I make things for me, really.
Yeah. Everybody take a drink. A lot of Kevin Crawford stuff is not necessarily heavily supported with a lot of additional books. I mean, yes, he does bring out a book or two that kind of adds on to it from time to time, but anybody who's played any Kevin Crawford stuff knows that he pretty much he nails all of it in one book. I mean, he doesn't produce giant books of monsters and stuff like that to go along with his settings and all this stuff. He pretty much he puts it all in one book, and he lets you go and you do what you want to. You mix and match as you like, and that's fine. I don't think he needs to produce, wads and wads and wads of content for a system. I mean, I love it when he does support it. Like he brought out the Atlas for Worlds Without Number not too long ago, and that was a good book. He's bringing out Cities Without Number, which is kind of an add-on to Stars Without Number, but it's really kind of its own animal. The nice thing is the way he built his system is it all can link together pretty seamlessly. But you can mix or match that stuff as you wish. He doesn't need to bring out lots and lots of supplementary material. The stuff just stands well on its own.
Yeah,
and yes, you can get it on POD or you can get it on PDF, but either way.
Gen X Geek asked if I can do system agnostic, and I don't know if that's the correct answer, but I think the closest I can get to system agnostic in a meaningful way would be the OSR, whatever you would define that as.
But the problem with doing that though is you almost need to be able to have that buzzword on there to get people's attention.
You have to have it on there. But I mean, realistically speaking, to create a product that's compatible with BX and AD&D and Basic Fantasy and OSE and all the Lamentations of the Flame Princess, like you can use it in everything that everyone's hot word right now is playing. That could have some benefit. Do I want to do that? I don't know. I love Castles and Crusades. I just don't think that the Chenault brothers are marketing it in a way that is growing their player base the way that I would expect, But I don't know.
Generic
a lot of
products. Sorry, let me just speak there to that because I've done some of those. So going systemless, system agnostic, you have to strike it exactly right to get those kind of sales that would justify it. Most people are tied to a system and they won't look outside of that system. The only things I've seen that have really done well that are system agnostic are things like gaming maps, gaming tiles, my Adventure Seeds books, which are kind of an evergreen seller for me. But if you don't tie it to a system of some kind, then people don't feel it's for them, and there will be too much work for them to do to convert it. I mean, Whitechester, I've done conversions for just about everything I think interested people would like to play, but the vast and overwhelming majority of people that have bought it are using it in 5th edition or OSR. So yeah,
and Raji is a YouTuber. And now something I want to point out really quick that also kind of ties into what Violence was talking about is print on demand versus publishing. And this became apparent to me this week. Because, okay. I've always supported Carbon 2185. That's been one of my favorite products for a long time now, because I like what it does with 5th edition, and it's a nice alternative to Cyberpunk. As much as I love Pondsmith, I just don't like what he did with Cyberpunk Red. I just don't. I'm sorry. Mike. I know that's a crime, but okay. Getting away from that, this is interlinked. This is a mission book. I bought this as part of the Carbon 2185 Kickstarter. So this book was published a couple years ago. And at the time when they printed this out, when they did this print run, it was printed out in Lithuania. And so I got this as a physical copy. And something to notice is, first off, you can see the pages are kind of glossy. Everything looks good. The artwork is, the lettering, everything looks, just really good. It's it's professionally published. It came out nice. There's no bleed. I mean, this is what you want when you buy a printed book. Okay. All well and good, right? Okay.
But
this is Chow's request. I just got this a couple of days ago. This is part of Carbon's Kickstarter that they've been pushing through. And instead of doing publishing through their Lithuanian publisher, they instead opted to go print on demand through DriveThruRPG. And as part of the Kickstarter fulfillment, they offered all of the books as print on demand through DriveThruRPG, as well as PDF. Well, this is I'm not crapping on Lightning Source so much, but cover looks nice.
Okay, I will. They're not very good.
But wait. Just let me get there. Okay, but we look at the inside. It's flat. It's not glossy. Yeah, you can see the illustrations look okay. They don't look as vibrant.
It would be if they could do a glossy page as an option.
It would be nice, but they don't. And here's the most damning thing right here. See at the bottom?
That's a major problem.
Yeah. See, they've cut the text off at the bottom. Now that there's a lot of different reasons why this could have happened, but it's I don't like that.
Oh.
I mean, yes, it's not like vitally important that I have this little bit of lettering down there. It doesn't interfere with my page counts, because my page counts are still there. But it was something that was part of the book, and because of the way it was printed, it's not there.
To be
It's garbage.
completely fair, that might be their problem with the files rather than the printer.
Yeah.
Whoever's it is, it's
Trash.
something that should be fixed. It should be addressed.
Yeah.
And it's not just this. Okay. This is a copy of Machinations of the Space Princess. And as you can see, it has an ISBN number on the back of it. I bought this through Amazon, through Amazon's publishing. And yeah, it's clear. It's clean looking, but it's in black and white. That was the only option they gave me. They didn't give me an option of any other kind.
There is a color printing.
Come on, just wait. Hold on.
Okay.
Hang on, Sparky. I got you. Okay. This is the copy I got through Lulu. And as you can see, there's no ISBN. Look at how nice this looks. It's still not really glossy, but the color illustrations look good. There's no bleed. It's just a much better option. So even among print on demand, there's a quality issue that goes between the different publishing. Now there's no print on demand for this through drive-through, so I couldn't do a Lightning Source comparison for this. But as you can see, the Lulu copy is worth it.
Yes, Lulu is superior to Lightning Source in practically every way. I find Lightning Source tends to be low contrast. Their color, especially their covers, tends to be kind of waxy. The ink runs a little bit if you have sweaty or oily skin like I do, so that can be a bit of a problem. So that's why I don't offer print on demand through drive-through, because I don't like the quality. Lulu is way better. Though with Lulu, right, they use partner printers in different countries around the world, so it can be a little bit variable depending where you live and where the nearest print company is. And their shipping costs for hardback are absurd, even though they're pretty good quality. So yeah, you gotta pick and choose. But I for me, Lulu's far and away the best option.
Yeah, I picked up 2 copies of this through Lulu, and you can see it's nice. It's colored. It looks good. Grim did a good job laying this out, and the artist is really good.
That's the lower quality color because they only offer the higher quality color on certain settings. So the interior color on that will probably be a little bit more flat, but I kind of like the way it looks. It looks like an old 70s sci-fi comic or something. Effect.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing that killed me about this is I ordered 2 copies of it, not because I'm vain. I wanted a hard copy for myself, and I wanted the other copy for somebody else. But what killed me on this was the shipping from Lulu. Was actually more, almost if not more expensive than the actual copy of the books. And this is not to cast aspersions. I like Pundit. Pundit's a friend. Obviously, I buy his stuff. This is his latest book, Wilderlands, from Drive-Thru RPG. I got it print on demand. And this is not an aspersion on him or anything. I'm not trying to throw stones. I just think it's funny. When I was doing the Sexbots book, the one thing I kept reiterating to Grim over and over and over was, I want to make the page count. I want this to go at least 50 pages. We need to push to at least 50 pages because I want it to be a proper, I think that's proper for print on demand. Right? And he just kind of kept shooting back, stuff like, why? And this is the latest.
Good question to ask.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, this is the latest from Pundit, and I'm not saying the book is bad, but it's only like 19 pages, and it was still able to go into print on demand. So that makes me kind of rethink in the future how much writing I really need to do on a supplement. Although, truthfully speaking, I want to have something that's quality. If I'm going to sell you something that is print on demand, I want you to have a hard copy at your table. I want you to have something that you're going to enjoy, that you can get a lot of use out of. So I do want to give you a lot of bang for your buck. And I'm not saying, oh no, Pundit doesn't want you to do that. Okay? Nobody misconstrue me by saying that. I'm just saying, I think it's funny that you can get away with less. Because I didn't know that was possible. I figured you at least had to have something fairly chunky and substantial to have a print on demand. So that was kind of an eye-opener for me.
So I on the Wilderkin book that I just released, my printer, Comics Wellspring, which is the biggest comic book printer in the United States by far, they did a softcover copy for me, and they fucked it up big time, and they miscut the book much in the same way as the book you showed earlier, where it had the bottom page cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it was not a layout issue. They gave me, I grilled them hard. I'm like, dudes, this is the 3rd time you fucked up my book. What are you doing? Like, what's going on here? And so they gave me a very technical explanation of what happened. So apparently when a book is run on the printer and they have this process of collating, stapling, and trimming is done, there's a print term called creep. And this occurs when you take multiple pages and fold them. So the pages closer to the middle of the book sit further out than the pages closer to the covers. So when the machine trims, it does okay, but depending on the thickness of the book, there could be a shift. And they use a guillotine to cut and fix that. And but in this case, the press operator should have caught that mistake. And they did not catch the mistake, or they just didn't care. They weren't looking for it. And that's what happened to my book. And I was like, you're telling me that I spent so-and-so dollars on your shit, and this guy did not even notice this at all. Like, what level of incompetence are we dealing with here? I was real mad. But how can you be a press operator that is physically, manually binding a book from pages that you printed out and not notice that it's fucked up? I don't understand, but that's the technical explanation.
Yeah, I've gotten books that were my cover and someone else's interior before.
Oh, that's happened. Yep. Comics Wellspring did that to us.
That's a fun one.
Yep.
And since it seemed to be a romance novel, I kind of worried that whoever got my interior died of shock or something.
Yeah,
I
L
don't-
says you're supposed to realign before you guillotine. And they didn't. For whatever reason, maybe they're overworked. Comics Wellspring has a ton of customers. People are trying to send them shit all day long. I don't know, but they need to do a better job.
Paddy was asking what software I use for layout. I'm not particularly good, but I do my own layouts. I use a mostly legal-ish copy of InDesign. Affinity is also quite good, but tends to produce massively over-bloated files. So if you use Affinity, then it's best to resave the file as a PDF through Acrobat or something, which will trim it down to size. So.
Yep. And there you go. He says it'd be a great short for you too. We had Stephen Chenault on the channel last year talking to us, Stephen Chenault from Troll Lord Games, from, the guys who actually do Castles and Crusade. And it was really cool to talk to him because not only is he a fun guy to talk to, he's a great old school player. But since Troll Lord Games owns their own printer, he was very, very knowledgeable of the process of how books are printed, what is needed, and everything else. And he would tell us about how they sourced paper from local companies. They used local materials and everything else. Everything is all printed in the USA. It was really kind of fun to talk to him because it was kind of a nice look into the design behind the books. And also, when we had Raji on the channel, we had James Edward Raji IV on the channel for Lamentations. He was also extremely knowledgeable of all the processes of printing because, Lord knows, every Lamentations of the Flame Princess book that you get is good. The print quality is really, really good. He does a lot of stuff with design. Sometimes adding in like extra stuff like gold leaf or whatever like that. Just, things to make the books kind of feel special. Along with adding in ribbon bookmarks, which I can't stress enough. Like, if you're a wannabe publisher or something out there, please, ribbon bookmarks for all your stuff. Please, please.
He's lucky in that he's got a decent local printer in Finland. But there's a whole generation of British RPGs that were printed in Scotland with terrible binding.
Yes,
where they all just fall apart.
Oh my god, my original copy of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, I got it, and it literally split from the binding the day after.
That's notorious. And first edition SLA Industries and a game called Tales of Gargantia. I think they were all printed the same place.
I wish I could have done a ribbon in my books, but I did include a bookmark in my latest thing, Sword and Sorcery thing, Astrius. I hope you still have it, t-shirt.
Which one?
Astrius, the Doom that came to Astrius. You still have my bookmark?
I do. I still do.
And the ones with the little tassels.
I love it, man. Are you kidding me? I tucked the bookmark away into the book, and I just quietly put it in a little plastic bin for whenever I want to pull it out and use it. And yes, the Basic Experts Maqueedle is coming out pretty soon with a red foil inlay on that. Yeah, that is. I hope he puts a ribbon in it. I can't wait. And I hate to dump on, on DTRPGs print on demand services or anybody else's or anything like that. A lot of game designers and stuff like that are just kind of using who they can get. But it's really cool when you do get a nice book from a publisher. I can't stress enough the extra care and quality. My copy of Torg Eternity, for example, it's from the German company whose name I always forget. But when I got that, their copy of Torg Eternity has two bookmarks in it, 2 ribbon bookmarks. One is red, one is blue, because it's supposed to be like the color of the Eternity energy. Which I thought, man, that is so sweet, And that was the first time I really started taking a look at the way the books and stuff were published. Because before that, I was kind of like anybody else. I was like, I didn't really care. A book is a book. And then that's when I started discovering things like, Wizards of the Coast and Paizo printing stuff in China all the time. Ulysses Spiel. Yes, thank you, Violence. Yes, Ulysses Spiel. Yeah. What's up with our stream?
Stream.
We're okay, I think. Brains. Anyway. But yeah, when you get a nice printer, when you get a nice book from a company, it's worth noting, it's worth crowing about, and it's probably worth bitching about when you get a bad one.
If I won the lottery, I would open my own print shop dedicated to independent comics, tabletop games, and books, fantasy writers. We would do it right, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I was almost thinking that maybe everybody should start submitting everything through Troll Lords, since they do have their own printer and they do have their own printing press, and they do produce some really awesome stuff. I've loved every book that they put out. Not necessarily because of the content.
Yeah.
Their content's good too. But I mean, just the way that their books look is really good.
So they're halfway. They print out their pages and they ship it to someone else to bind it. So they can't do that in house. I asked them about it and they never got back to me. I'd love to get my shit done with them, but no response.
Yeah, they just recently put out that Robert E. Howard cover collection that I desperately need to buy from them. And I know they have put out leather edition or leather bound editions and stuff and foil editions, so they can do some cool stuff.
I miss the smell of 1970s art books like Paper Tiger.
Yeah.
I also got Venture Satanist to give me his printer.
Yeah, his books are good too.
I messaged them and they didn't get back to me. They must hate money. These people must hate money.
Yeah, I was talking to a print company over here that specializes in like adult content and stuff. So obviously that was good news for me. They were supposed to be setting up an online print thing and they were going to be in touch. Never did. People hate money.
Elle says, oh, not only T-shirt blocks my comments on videos. I don't actually block your comments on videos. Now, yeah, it's a YouTube thing. Now they are
the Minecraft thing.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I did the Minecraft thing, which I know nothing about, so you'll have to lead with that one. But yeah, they're actually held for review before they're published. Elle, so literally, it's a case of me having to go back and review comments to make sure they get published.
Then
having
YouTube
said that,
notify you if there's comments, so you have to then take the time to go and then check.
Yeah. Oh, Chad ate your post with the middle finger emote? I didn't do that. That's YouTube actually, dude. That's not me. Sorry. You barking up the wrong tree, my friend. But yeah, why don't you go ahead with the Minecraft stuff, because I know nothing about that.
I know very little about it. What it seems that's happened is that Microsoft has realized that loads of people make all kinds of stuff for Minecraft, and lots of people monetize their videos and so on about Minecraft, and there's this whole huge community out there, and they should get some money from it.
Oh no.
So they are trying to change the end user license agreement so that all Minecraft stuff must be age appropriate and safe, and you can't use certain versions of the name. You can't imply that you're an official Minecraft product. A whole raft of corporate overreach, which is going to kill the popularity of Minecraft, because what made it what it was that it was open. So
I'm getting like January flashbacks to the OGL.
Yeah, lots of people have made that comparison, and it seems fairly apposite. So
everyone's gonna get a Roblox.
Yeah.
There you go, L. Look, it did pop up in chat. You see, there it is. There you go. We've got it on video as proof, baby. I've never used that middle finger emote. I'll have to keep that one tucked away for Snowdub streams. Speaking of which, has anybody seen him today?
No, I saw him last night, but that was about it.
No, Dub, I thought he was on earlier when we were talking about bears.
Was he?
I think so.
Damn it. I didn't see it. I missed it.
Friendo.
Anyway.
So Baldur's Gate isn't the only place bears get fucked. He turns up on stream and you don't even notice.
Yes, but Ironcaster actually prefers monkeys to bears.
Come with me, monkey lad.
Ironcaster.
Detroit.
What? Oh, the Detroit. I have not tried using that clip. We might try it, but I bet you anything YouTube will catch it. They catch me for everything these days. I have had to go back and change out music on lots of old clips. I mean, it's like the Kentaro Miura clip that I put out. That was the tribute. I did that, back when Kentaro Miura died years ago. And suddenly, the company that owned the music decided, hey, can't use that music. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to let you mess up my tribute. So I just, I swapped out the music. But yeah, if in the future you guys should somehow get the crazy craving to go back and then watch some of my older videos, and I know nobody does that, but if you did, and you notice that music is not the same, that is because somebody threw a copyright claim on the music, and I don't want to fight it, It's like whether I have permission or not. I do have permission for all the Faderhead stuff because Faderhead's either told me, yeah, it's okay to use it, or he's expressly written it when I used it.
Right.
So that stuff should be safe. But yeah, if you find older clips that are missing chunks or stuff has been overwritten for music copyright and all that, it's because of YouTube's going back through and saying copyright.
Did you breathe? It's a copyright.
Yeah, did you breathe? It's copyright. The only thing they can't copyright is us talking. So you know what?
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's safe. Yeah, yet.
I did want to respond to Cal Vanoni, who is asking what name the Basic Expert uses on Kickstarter. He wants to follow him.
Yep.
The Basic Expert has never launched a Kickstarter, and he does not have a pre-launch available either. So right now he doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't have like any projects or anything to follow. But hopefully he will soon. I've been trying to pressure him into paying for a YouTube ad. I feel like that's 100% important, but hopefully he can get that done soon and then launch that thing.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Microsoft did just buy Blizzard. That we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, can't wait.
We'll probably get like the official like Azeroth recreation server.
Mm-hmm. On that subject, why doesn't Squeaka appear on the panel anymore? Squeaka, left the show some months ago. As far as I know, it wasn't anything personal with anybody on the show. She had her
on screen too much and scared her off.
Yeah, she was never really a big fan of being on the panel. She enjoyed it now and again, I think, but I think she's much more comfortable being an audience participant, which is, that's fine. And we do miss her because I always found her commentary to be very insightful and usually pretty funny. She was really good about keeping us from ever devolving into an echo chamber for sure. but yeah, that was unfortunate. We lost her. Das Wolfen! Good to see you. And I like the new avatar, dude. Gonna have to go soon. You're running Crimson Dragon Slayer for a bunch of newbies. Yeah, I heard Venger is actually thinking about taking Crimson Dragon Slayer and putting it into a published format. That will be very cool.
I've already heard of that.
Yeah. Venture's thinking about going back and publishing it. Yeah, should have made it in time for the stream to end. Well, yeah, pretty much, because got about 3 minutes until it ends. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with us here lately, and the situations and whatnot.
Real quick, I wanted to mention
Yep.
that I still haven't watched Shin Ultraman, and I want to watch it, but I've heard that the company screwed up the Blu-ray, and the subtitles are all messed up big time, and like people are pissed. And anybody who bought the Blu-ray has to like do an exchange program. Oh, so disappointed. What do you think, Ironcaster? Have you seen it?
I mean, I've seen the movie a while ago. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. But like, oh no, like that's
apparently
not.
It's unwatchable. I mean, it's bad, but like I
Wow.
don't know. But Shin Kamen Rider came out too. I want to see that.
Ooh.
It's currently available on Amazon Prime, so you can, if you have the Prime membership, you can watch it there. Though you will have to look it up under Shin Masked Rider.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I will say that's actually one of the best movies that came out this year.
Nice.
You know, that is one of the coolest things, Ironcaster. The company that got all the rights to do all the Ultraman stuff is Mill Creek Entertainment. And Mill Creek Entertainment, for the longest time, all they did was they put out, they just bought tons and tons of crappy movies, like Z tier list films, and put them out on big compilations. And I know because I would go into my local Dollar General and then buy like a DVD for like $4 or something like that with like 24 films on it, and it's like about half of them were unwatchable crap.
But like every Halloween, they would put out like 5 different bundle packs of like effectively the same 50 movies.
Yes, I have lots of repeats on their videos. But then, apparently they got the license to do this, and all of a sudden they're coming out with quality stuff, and I think that's awesome. It's a great flip around.
One of the things that had happened was apparently there was a long-standing lawsuit involving the international distribution rights for Ultraman, and it had gone on for like the better part of a couple decades. That was just so held up with between like I think like Indonesia and Japan, and they finally managed to get that settled. So now we're starting to see that really ramp up and start to roll out more. And I mean,
that's interesting. Good.
To finish the thought real quick, to the point where they're straight up putting episodes of Ultraman on YouTube. Like you can go watch like the new episode of whatever's coming out, like the same day it would in Japan. Like you can go watch the Regulos, or Blazar.
There's too much Ultraman for anyone to watch in their lifetime.
Yeah, there is.
But I mean, hey, that's sort of a good problem to have, because do you really want to watch any more of Marvel? Do you want to watch?
No. Oh, and speaking of stuff that just came out, I just finished watching the entire newest season of Baki, which introduces the character Pickle, and I like that series. It's so over the top as far as the martial arts stuff goes, and it's
I ever saw.
Well, it strays into some really weird segues during the shows, like, and then it kind of reconnects. I honestly think that's the way that the manga writer and artist literally comes up with stuff. It's just like he's just thinking about stuff and he's trying to cross parallels and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, how did you connect the dots on these two things? That's weird. Such as Pickle getting slapped in the face, equating with that everybody's inbuilt reaction to getting hit by their mom. Yes, that's a thing.
Weird.
The other thing is the latest season of Bastard also dropped, and I watched that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Go watch it. It's worth it. It's fun. I love Bastard, and rest in peace, my dear friend George, for introducing me to that so long ago. But Anyway. But there you go, guys. We did end with a little bit of positivity. So yay, mission accomplished for another week in Geek. Woo! Woo! All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. And if you're catching us on the flip side or on the replay, hey, hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow we have a game with Grim.
Yep, on Grim streams. Though T-Shirt's been stealing my viewers and restreaming, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Running to Strange, which is a Cypher System setting.
Yeah.
Simon won't be able to join us, so there might be room if anyone wants to join us for a one-off on stream.
There you go, guys.
Hit me up on, X, I guess it's called now, or somewhere else.
I feel like you're trying to sell me on drugs.
I know. X has too many negative connotations, although Triple X is a positive one in my book.
I feel like going back to talk about ecstasy.
Yeah.
Come on, some of us are 90s kids, aren't we? Everything was extreme back then.
There we go.
How many X-Men comics were there? X-Force, X-Men, something else.
Okay, L wants us to wait. What are we waiting for, bud? What you got? We'll give you a couple seconds. Because I know that Chad has to catch up. See, I mean, he really meant it. He said, wait, and he says, wait. Does X profile now get called X cards? Oh, good one. Good one. Hang on. I got to find one for you there, X. actually, okay. X, just for you. Just for you. I'm going to do this one. Yeah, now that one will probably get claimed, but I don't care. It's worth it. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Take care. And
Catch you later. Thanks for having me on.
yeah, every time.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams. supply of life. How do you look at the supply of life?
Wait the fuck.